Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny, and I like to talk about games. Oh, and Basil the cat is here to say hello as well. Today, we're thinking about kind of, I want to say live service games or kind of ongoing games. Think about MMOs, MOBAs, all this type of stuff. Maybe Destiny, right, is a big one that people come back to. For me, Final Fantasy 14, I keep coming back to it and playing that a lot. League of Legends has been my latest kind of ongoing game, and I often wonder, like, am I missing out by spending all this time on the same game? As someone who played 6,000 hours of Dota 2 back in the day as well, I actually used to struggle with this. And I've been thinking lately about this question. Should you stop playing these sort of ongoing titles? Is there a cost of opportunity for every hour that you spend in Final Fantasy 14 or whatever game? Is there a cost of opportunity where you could actually be going to a new game and playing some, let's say, some single player campaign of a different game? And there seems to be this narrative that I caught myself in, like, there's some type of progression. You're accruing milestones by finishing separate games. So this idea that if you have, 50 hours and you were able to finish 3 single player games, that's somehow more meaningful than having spent those 50 hours playing League of Legends or Final Fantasy 14. And I think I'm gonna call myself out on that, and any of you who have the same narrative. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's inherently better for you to spend that time finishing more games, right? There isn't really an inherent value in finishing games versus just continuing a game that you enjoy that's kind of ongoing in nature. And I think you need to really dig down and find what it is that you want from games. Are you looking to experience the most in terms of variety? I do want to experience the new games that come out. I want to see what the new tech is like, what new teams are doing, how they're trying to push the envelope. So that's something that drives me to play new games and try to balance the two, ongoing games versus new games that come out. But ultimately, what I want from games is the enjoyment. And for me, that often comes in the form of these ongoing titles. With League, it's a journey of self-improvement. I'm on this awesome journey of acquiring the skill set necessary to win games, right? Fucking going ham on trying to get champion mastery on one particular champion, going deep, trying to learn the game. That to me is meaningful. Just like learning guitar or any other discipline, there's value and satisfaction in that journey. And even if that's not the case for you, maybe you're just shooting the shit with your friends in Destiny, I think there's a lot of value in that enjoyment that you do get from that, even if you don't get anything tangible out of a play session, right? We've talked about that in the past in the channel. You don't really need to get anything meaty out of a play session. That's your free time, dude. That's your enjoyment, you know? If you get a couple hours where you're having laughs and you're shooting some stuff and it's satisfying, man, that's good in and of itself. Some of our free time is well spent in these games that are kind of time sinks, let's be honest, right? I just clocked in 400 hours in Final Fantasy 14. I just barely started the newest expansion, but to me it's worth it. I like the music, I like the setting, my time in it is enjoyable, and I'm hard pressed to tell you what specifically I would gain from playing, let's say, a single player game instead of that. I don't know, maybe I would enjoy it more, maybe it would turn out to be a great game, but to me, the ongoing experiences are some of my favorite games, guys. And this guilt tripping that goes on with me, I caught myself this week with like, oh, you're not playing other single player games, you're not finishing games because of these ongoing games. Guess what? I'm gonna quote Brandon Sanderson here and say journey over destination, right? And it is all about the journey for me. So many games, I didn't enjoy the ending. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, that ending dragged on as fuck, right? But the journey was awesome. And so many games I find myself where, the ending didn't really do much for me. I just finished, well, a few weeks ago, we finished Horizon Forbidden West on the channel. It was actually a pretty anticlimactic ending for me, but the game was a hell of a journey. I loved playing it, and I regret nothing about playing it. And in the same way, if you look at an ongoing title like Final Fantasy XIV, so much of it is about your journey with the game. I think back about Monster Hunter World and the time that I spent with it. There's nothing about the conclusion of that makes it meaningful when I compare it to the actual journey going through that, learning the game. So what is it for you that matters in video games? Are you just in it to get enjoyment? If so, fucking prioritize getting enjoyment out of your time, man. And if that means banging out 3 games of League, dude, go for it. Like, remove this guilt-tripping mentality and narrative that some of us fall into. Just do what you enjoy, man. It's your free time. Like, if you clocked in your hours at work, right? You did all your responsibilities. You can sit down and play a game. Just choose what's gonna give you the most enjoyment in that time. Maybe it is playing some games with friends for the community aspect. Maybe you do want to sit down and do a single player campaign experience of something. Call yourself out on some of these narratives and bring it back to basics. What do I want out of the next 2 hours? If it's really my free time and I just want to get like the most enjoyment out of it, just pick what's gonna be most enjoyable to you, man. Regardless of whether you wanted to finish a particular game or if you have a backlog, fuck the backlog, bro. Like, what's gonna give you the best bang for your buck in the next 2 hours? Maybe you wanna keep working on your League journey and banging out a few ranked games and trying to get that consistency down. Maybe you wanna sit back and just drive around in GTA 5. Yeah, some people are still playing GTA 5, apparently. Like, just do it, man. Just enjoy, sit back and do what feels right for you in the moment. My cat is climbing on all surfaces in my house, so we gotta wrap up this enchilada. But I love calling myself out on all kinds of narratives when I find myself having this kind of story that plays back in my head that forces me to do something that doesn't really make sense or doesn't really follow the priorities that I have set out for myself. So if you see yourself falling into this trap as well, let me know in the comments. If you ever find yourself guilt tripping in terms of, oh, I should really spend this time finishing that game. Oh, I haven't finished that. I should do that. Man, do whatever the fuck you feel like. It's your free time. You don't owe anybody anything. The backlog is just a word. It's actually nothing, right? It's not a physical pile of games there that you have to finish. It's not chores. It's none of that, right? All this stuff we do for our enjoyment. So min-max your enjoyment and forget about the narratives. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Basil, can you shut the fuck up for 10 minutes? By the way, if you enjoy these conversations, we have 3 streams per week on Twitch where we can sit back and actually chat about stuff. I can react to all your thoughts in real time. You can propose topics, we can do thought experiments, all this kind of stuff. So if you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is to jump over Twitch and help us build our community over there. Thank you.